Ben Simmons currently playing for LSU, likely to be the #1 draft pick in the 2016 NBA draft, and is likely the most transcendent player to come into the league since LeBron James. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the speculation when you see here a few other guys that should be drafted #1 overall instead of Ben Simmons. There is nobody within an atmosphere in touching Ben Simmons' ability to transcend the game and the unteachable aesthetics that he brings to the court every day. You know who mock those sentiments?
Who?
So, do you like Magic?
I love Magic.
Do you believe
And Magic believes very similarly to what you believe, because he tweeted this out talking about Ben Simmons and everything that he's doing so far. So LSU's Ben Simmons is the best all-around player I've seen since LeBron James came out of high school straight to the NBA.
Thanks, Magic. Could have just
backing up your
could have
point.
said it's CC at JasonRubin91. Magic. Use some of those followers. Ass. Just kidding. Love you, Magic. So if you watch the Kentucky versus LSU game,
It was
a few things that go with that.
astounding.
One, LSU, man, is an atrocious basketball team. If you put one semi-decent shooter around Ben Simmons, that team would be a lot better than they are. But they're being entirely run. To me, there's unteachable things like court vision and passing that you just aren't. You're just born with, right?
Yeah.
By the way, here are some high school highlights of Ben Simmons playing in his high school days, and he's just developed his game so much more since this point. It's everything from his mature ability to play the wing at an NBA level, which is too good for college anyway, and his passing, I mentioned his court vision. He's got a decent jump shot, and that's what's so amazing about it is he's actually really similar to LeBron in certain skill set.
Yeah, his ability to drive to the hoop, very similar to a lot of the moves you see. His court vision for me stands out as something that's just remarkable. Standing at 6'10", again, it's able to move that freely, to find those pockets throughout the court. Stands out to me. I mean, he's been a joy to watch so far this season. And when I was doing my research on it, there's some of the articles trying to do these comparisons, right? We as sports fans love to compare.
Yeah,
this is no secret. We love to compare to see how these future stars are going to stand out. So I was pulling some statistics from a great article that was done by Luke Knox on ESPN. Right? It talks about pi, not Pythagoras. 3.1444. What's the finish? 3.14.
No, Pythagoras is the Pythagorean theory. A squared
That's
plus
what I'm
B
saying.
squared
It's
equals
pi.
C squared.
It's pi.
I suck at math, and I know that.
I know that. I'm saying
Pi is 3.1495287.
Pretty impressive.
No, it's not.
This is a different form of pi. This is player impact estimate. So now this looks at how a player impacts all of the major events in and amongst the game. And then obviously you put that up next to their completion rate, to their assists, to their shooting average, to their field goal percentage. And they basically combine it all to just make it out to show how awesome one player is. Now it says that the average pi score for a player which is exceeding expectations is 10 and up. And if you look throughout these graphics, we're throwing him in amongst some of the best one-hit wonders that have came out from, obviously straight from college into the NBA, some of the best athletes. So taking a quote from this article from Knox, he says, a player with pi greater than 10 is considered above average. So we're going to look at him in his comparison to other previous All-Americans and then compared to other previous Naismith winners and then to future All-Star players who were also one-hit wonders. And then amongst that list, you can know the names of Anthony Davis, John Wall, some great players in there, Kevin Durant. But let's take a look first at how he's ranking up against his competition. All right, so you look at this, he's obviously superior, 22.1 in amongst Chris Dunn from Providence, Buddy Hield, Oklahoma. Move over to the next graph when we are looking at guys like Frank Kaminsky from last season, who was phenomenal, 20.7, so closer margin. But as you can see, it's the percentage in which he's influencing the game from all aspects, from his assists, rebounds, and shooting percentage that's setting him apart from all these phenomenal players. And it's the next list where you can really tell he's in amongst, obviously, great company here. And you look at Anthony Davis, who was so significant coming out of Kentucky. His pi is looking at 20.6. Kevin Durant, 20.5. Kevin Love, John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins, Derrick Rose, Kyrie Irving, Demetrius DeRozan, and Drew Holiday. So some phenomenal talent in there. But these statistics show, Jason, as we're looking forward, Simmons is the real deal, is worthy of the hype that we're looking forward at the moment, and he's sitting there above someone like Anthony Davis, who's already been tipped to be transcendent within the sport in his early years in the NBA. He's already a standout. He's already an NBA All-Star. He's already someone that is expected to go on to great heights. So when you look at this comparison and someone from ESPN wrote an article and all these details, what does it say to you? Does it say that this is undoubtedly someone who's going to be special?
Here's what it says. He possesses about one key attribute from almost every one of these players. One, he can play big like Anthony Davis did at Kentucky, which was ridiculous how good Anthony Davis was at Kentucky. And he also handles the ball as well as John Wall does. He's got Kevin Love's ability to rebound. He's got Kevin Durant's ability to score the ball. If you remember Kevin Durant back at Texas, Kevin Durant averaged 30 points a game, I think, in college, roughly around that era. That doesn't happen in college. That's good
crazy how low scoring
KD
games they are.
he was at scoring. There's also less time, 2 20-minute halves. I'm going to skip over DeMar DeRozan and Drew Holiday, and I get why they're there just for reference reasons. I mean, DeMar DeRozan was good at USC, but he doesn't belong in the same company as Kyrie Irving, Derrick Rose, DeMarcus Cousins, John Wall. And he plays with the intensity that DeMarcus Cousins played at Kentucky. Goddamn, Kentucky recruits well. So all those little aspects you put together into this almost perfect basketball player, and it's so great for the NBA to get another transcendent player. So you're gonna see it get thrown around. It would be a travesty to not see this guy play in the tournament.
Yeah.
But here's the other point: he should never have had to go to LSU in the first place.
Yeah.
He should have came right out of high school. He was ready to go right out of high school. And the more we watch Ben Simmons, the more we're gonna really reap the benefits. So my gut feeling, the 76ers aren't getting Ben Simmons. They're going to get the number 1 overall pick likely, but watch the Lakers or watch the Boston Celtics get Ben Simmons.
And that would absolutely please Bill Simmons, because then he'd finally get a jersey.
He could.
That says Simmons.
He would be really happy about that. He's been following the guy since he was like in 7th grade.
Just
in hopes
give me a Simmons name.
That's why. It's actually that reason. And but it's the Lakers or the Celtics I'd feel are the most viable candidates to either to trade for the number 1 pick to draft Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons ain't starting or even going to compete with the 76ers in 2016. NBA draft lottery is weird, so it might not even go to the 76ers.
It's the most complicated thing in the world.
Yeah,
there's more chance of me winning the actual lottery than understanding.
It's good because it does pseudo prevent tanking entirely,
Yeah,
so teams can't just always get the number 1 pick. But it's bad because you're always trying to win the lottery.
Yeah, no doubt.
And if you do, you might get a player like Ben Simmons, and other times you get a guy like Anthony Bennett. Or you get a guy like Kwame Brown.
Potentially.
Small hands.
Or you get someone like Porzingis, who everyone was crying about.
I've been over this with you, Francis. Godzingis.
I will officially name it. If he leads the Knicks to a championship, I will officially only refer to him as that, and you as...
I'll be 155 years old when that happens. And so will Godzingis. So Ben Simmons is here. Enjoy it while you can at LSU. Hopefully he makes the tournament. He probably won't, because LSU is a garbage basketball team, except for him. Comment below what you think. Is he the next transcendent NBA player, the best since LeBron? And Magic thinks so. He thinks so. I think so.
Pi thinks so.
Pythagoras thinks so. We'll see you next time.